ke fitlhile ka maoto ke kopa teye le dikuku. Ay, Haifani, Mr. Haima. Guys, what happened to Haifani? Yo, Mr. Haimani, yo, he used to bless me. Such a vibe. I genuinely wish him all the best. I need him to resurrect and come back and just bless me because wow. Anywho, I'm gonna make this part 2 of jealousy is a disease that is just feeding off of the black community. Okay, so remember we spoke about this briefly, or well, 15 minutes is briefly for me because I love talking to you guys. So we spoke about this and I shared a few of my encounters or my experiences that showed me that jealousy is rife within our community. And I think this is important. I think as much as these conversations make us uncomfortable and they might leave a bitter taste in our mouths, they are very, very necessary because they will make us woke. They'll contribute to our wokeness and will hopefully change for the better. Okay, so the last thing I spoke about was that whole experience where a group of hooligans wanted to beat me down in high school, and all my friends, well, not all of them, because I remember Opilile Nosne stood by me, but most of my friends, one of my best friends, and people who I genuinely thought were my pals or people who had my best interest at heart, turned their backs on me, and they fed into that scandal and the controversy and the negativity, and they were just excited and they were just fascinated by my almost downfall, because that ish really messed me up. Like it was bad. It was bad, guys. And there's so many things that happen in our lives that contribute or trigger depression. Hence, a lot of people have taken their lives, or a lot of people are dysfunctional and they're struggling to navigate and maneuver in this life thing because of such things. But I prayed for strength and I kept my head held high, and thankfully I'm quite a confident person, if I do say so myself. So I managed to overcome those trials and tribulations. But even now, when I look back on them, I'm like, sure, I don't even know how a 17, 18-year-old managed to get through that. It was a devastating time. On top of that, during that entire scandal, a teacher, I don't want to slander anybody, I don't want to mention any names, I don't want to give anybody shine who actually hurt me, but one of my teachers, this person used to teach me Afrikaans, sided with that group of people, and it was insane. I was like, hey, well, guys, what is this? Could I, like, what's going on? Somebody performed some voodoo ritual on me, because like, what is this? She sided with those people and she went ham, and she wanted to damage and destroy me. But fortunately, like I said, I serve a living God. I made it out alive, and I think I'm in one piece. Am I? So yeah, I remember when there's this one instant where they wanted to beat me up outside school because they couldn't do anything while on the premises of the educational institution. So they wanted to beat me outside. And I remember how people were actually egging them on, people who were close to me. And I was like, sheesh, how? And that's when I kind of realized that this is all stemming from that evil seed of jealousy. There's no way in hell that you would egg on an enemy of your loved one to actually hurt them. Where's that coming from? Like, what triggers those emotions? We've never even had a fallout. Everything was good between us. But immediately when something negative happens or unpleasant happens in my life, you're rejoicing. Make it make sense, please. So yeah, that basically happened. And so I was already ready to be, attacked. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna face this, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I can throw down, but like it's really not my style. The only time I actually partake in such behavior is when I am provoked. I'm sorry, like, I'm a good person. I believe in doing good, but if you do bad to me, especially physical harm, you can't expect me to turn the other cheek. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I've worked on myself, I've worked on my spirit, I've worked on my anger issues, but I'm not there. I don't think I'll ever be there. I was not designed to be a doormat. I'm sorry. So I was like, okay, let's go, you know? So I walk outside, I'm with my friend Upilile, sweet me, ro, 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 ro. She knows what's up. Anyway, and we're waiting for the taxi. We're in the queue, and I can hear these girls going on and on discussing how they're gonna attack me. Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, make it happen. What are we waiting for? You know? And nothing happened until it was my turn to get into the taxi. So as I'm jumping into the taxi, one of them, oh, she's actually friends with one of my cousins. But I'm not gonna tell my cousin. I'm not gonna tell my cousin because I don't want to ruin any friendship over something that happened years ago, even though it's something that actually contributed to so much distress in my life. But and also this girl tends to speak about me, and she doesn't tell my cousin what exactly it is she did to me that makes me not want to associate with her. But it's whatever. It really is whatever. Like, where are you now? Anywho, she pulled me. She grabbed me by the hand and she wanted to pull me out of the taxi or drag me out of the taxi. So, in defense, I literally grabbed her hand and I lasheled it there. Ne? Next thing, tomorrow morning, she has a bandage around her hand. I didn't do anything. She tried to attack me. I took her hand, shoved it to the left. Ne? Bandage. I'm called to the front office during my physics lesson, my favorite lesson, mind you, because I had the most amazing physics teacher, Mr. Harry Bunce. I love you. I owe you the world. So I go and I'm called to the front office and this whole thing is discussed and they're like, so we hear that you attacked this young lady. I'm like, what? When? How? And mind you, it's the entire crew reporting me, supporting their friend who's bruised and battered, and then once again, just one of me. So I'm like, there's no way in hell I did that. This girl wanted to attack me, and I literally just defended myself. I didn't even defend myself per se. I just stopped it from happening. That's it. I didn't hurt her in any way, so I don't understand this bandage. I don't understand the antics, the dramatics. I don't get it, but okay. What the teacher said was, I actually believe that you attacked her because I believe that you are an instigator of all this drama that's been happening around your scandal. And I believe that you have changed ever since you, because yo guys, wow, I used to have a gold tooth here, right here. I used to have a gold tooth. And she was like, ever since you inserted that gold tooth, you've started to think that you're everything. First of all, I am everything. Everything great. Number two, what do you mean? How are you talking to a 17-year-old telling her ushinjwe a gold tooth and that she's an instigator of a drama within her life, an instigator of negativity in her life, and that she wants to start a fight with 15 people when there's only one of her? How does that make sense to you? And I just knew it. I knew it. There and then that this woman had it out for me, and she'd been trying to sabotage me. She blocked me from being a higher figure in the educational institution. I don't want to mention positions because I don't want to step on anyone's toes who was in that position, because I truly believe they deserved it. But a particular spot was going to be mine, but she was the one who said, no, I don't want her doing that. You know, I don't want her to get that. So, ngabona ngathi yazini, jealousy also affects abantu abadala. It's not just our peers who are jealous. It's not just our little ass neighbors. Everybody. And it's sickening, guys. On top of that, there was this one friend who I grew up with, and she literally came to my place after that whole incident. She came to my crib and she pretended as though she wanted to check up on me and make sure I'm okay. Meanwhile, she's just coming there to check whether I'm actually suffering so that she can rejoice and go back and tell those hooligans that, yeah, she's actually quite distressed or frustrated and, you know? And Yo, guys, it's been a rough road. It's been a rough road. I'm actually dwelling on this scandal because every time I think about it or every time I open up about it, I realize that there's so many layers to it and there's so many components and different role players or characters who actually wanted this negativity and this downfall or my demise to be a success. Like I come up with new things every time because I used to just turn a blind eye and think, you know what, this too shall pass, and this person isn't as bad as I think they are. But in actual fact, yeah, sis, yeah. So sometimes you look at life and you look at things that happen and you're like, "Ish, no, man." So that basically happened. And that same girl used to talk shit about me and my cousin and my family. And she always used to pretend she's my friend. But then I'd hear from like third parties, "Utaibo, Sissy, how's this person your friend?" When she said ABC 123 about you. And I'd be like, sheesh. And she'd always try to get me into trouble with the entire world. She'd literally make up a story in her mind and say, I said it. And just pick a random person and say, Zanetle said this about you. And then that person would come and confront me and want to fight. And I'd be like, how? Like, and I'd look her in the eye like, how? Are you serious? And she'd be dead serious. To this day, her life is basically not making sense. And I actually pray. I pray for her progress. I pray for her growth. I pray for her success. And I pray that she changes for the better. I truly, truly do. No shade. So, all in all, jealousy doesn't get you anywhere. I feel like if you exude negativity, how do you expect to prosper in this journey of life? How? Clap for others, rejoice for others, protect people you can protect, comfort people, be kind. It doesn't cost a thing. Be kind. It'll come back, I promise. I know sometimes life is so difficult, even when you're a good person, to a point where you're like, really? Does this thing of being a good person and expecting good or receiving good actually work in this lifetime? I promise you it does. I promise you it does. Moving on to neighbors. I've already given you an example of jealousy or a seed of jealousy from a neighbor of mine. It's so scary to go back to the hood, especially the hood where you grew up, because you can never be certain that they're actually proud of you and they're genuinely happy for the progress that you've made and your little successes, because we're still on this life journey. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but with every milestone and every achievement, you'd appreciate it, or you expect the people that you grew up with or you grew up around or people who contributed to raising you, because it takes a village, honestly. You'd expect them to rejoice and genuinely mean that, sheesh, you out here doing the damn thing. But every time I go back home, something negative happens. I'll just give you one example. Especially, I'm going to give you an example that both my brother and I can relate to. Every time we go home, we wake up in the morning and we either find slashed tires, or that our cars have been keyed, or there's like my brother's outside building was burnt. Like crazy things. Why? Where does that come from? Who did that? Your neighbor. The very same neighbor you grew up with, the very same neighbor, obumwizu auntie, uma, ugogo, thinking ukuthi, genuinely taking them as such, and there's so many things I could share with you guys, but this is basically the tip of the iceberg. And I just want to finish this off as well, because I also want to make this video 15 minutes and I want us to engage, guys. I want us to engage, and I want you to pour your heart out to me. I want you to open up and tell me what you've experienced, what you've witnessed, what you have heard, whatever it is. Tell me. Let's share. Let's motivate each other. Let's open up to each other. Let's counsel each other, because that's the whole point of this, keeping it real and helping each other and making progress and making each other aware of the mistakes that we make, because sometimes I do make mistakes that probably affect other people. Let's share that and let's be woke and help each other become better people. With that said, love and light.